Pazzi, at this point, not just during this stretch of losing, but just this point in the season, do you go into every game now, and do you feel like you know the kind of effort in general you're going to get from your team in every game, and how good does that feel? They've been in every game.
Yeah, if there's one aspect that I know and they've earned that trust, it's that they're going to show up and they're going to work. That's that I know for sure.
Is that the biggest key to getting out of this?
Well, if we stop working, that's going to be a problem. Biggest key, we're growing, right? So we're young team. Said that this is a fact, and we're seeing growth. Doing some research on our team, evaluating everyone, the staff, the players, where we're at. And the growth is consistent. When we look at the numbers, like we receive stats from our guy in Toronto and guy that we works for the team, and pretty consistent. We should have won that game. We should have won that game. We should have won that game. It's consistent. Even the last game, the feeling I had behind the bench was it was a tight game, but it wasn't very close. But when you look just at the numbers, and the numbers only say a part of the game, but when we look at the KPIs that we have, the key indicators, we're doing a good job. So we're growing, and the growth is there. Young team, we're growing. Now we need that confidence to finish those games. That killer instinct that we need to have, it's not there yet, but we're growing as a team. And to get out of this funk, it's first of all, it's not to lose that work ethic, and we need to create some garbage goals. We need to get to the net. Because our defensive game is decent. We've made some good strides. Our tracking is good. Our line changes, just the details, is getting better and better, and that was an issue in second period. So we're growing as a team. So getting out of this, we certainly can't change the work ethic, and it's just creating more bounces for us.
Damon Severson out of your lineup for 6 weeks maybe. How does that impact things for you?
Give somebody else a chance. I mean, he's logging minutes. He's a good defenseman. We're going to miss him. But at this point right now, it's the next man. And Boquist and Peak, and we have Blankenberg in the minors. We have a few guys. They're waiting for a chance. So it's not great for Sevo, but it gives somebody else a chance.
Boquist in tonight, correct?
Correct.
A different type of player than Severson. How does that, again, asking kind of the same question over again, but how does that impact the dynamic of what you're doing on the blue?
Well, he's good on breakouts. He's good at offensive plays. He's been working really hard in practices to improve his defensive game. Not that he's not good at it, but that's the part that he needs to improve. So he's been working really hard at it. Tonight's going to be a good test for him. We need to put him in a position to succeed too. In all fairness, to him, he was playing the games that he's played. He wasn't put in the best position possible because it's a league rule. You can only send 5 players on the ice. Same thing with the power play. But tonight they'll see some power play time. So hopefully he takes advantage of it and he's put in a position to succeed.
Is he with Werenski again tonight?
Yeah.
Those guys have had kind of limited time together since Boquist has been here. But in that limited time, if you do look at some of the numbers, that at least the external numbers that we get, pretty good. Like, is that surprising to you that two guys are? I mean, I think they think the game a little similarly.
Yeah.
But they seem to click for some reason.
Well, they do. Like what Boquist does really well on the defensive side of the game, his gap control is good. He's got good reads. On when to swing with a player, when to adjust his gap in the neutral zone. And it helps Z, because Z is such a great skater, both forward and backward, to retrieve some pucks, because Boquist will create those loose pucks. The other thing that he does well and why it could work together is they have the ability to make plays, so they can feed each other to create that transition offensively, righty and lefty. They can change sides. They can read off each other. Boquist's offensive IQ is really good. Like he sees the ice. He's got good deception to his game. So there's a lot of components to each of those two players that we can combine, and that could become a good pairing.
You mentioned there, I think it was garbage goals or getting pucks to the net, things like that. When you're in a stretch like this, is there something to maybe just trying to simplify the game a little bit and just kind of getting back to basics, pucks on net, things like that, and trying to create that way?
Yeah, we've been trying to do that for quite some time now, but there's different ways you can do it. It's one of our issues, and it's a mistake that you tend to do when things are not going well. You're trying to do more. It's not so much as it's more complicated or less complicated. You're trying to do more. And by doing more, you achieve less. So simplifying the decision-making at key places on the ice, key areas, that's what we're going to try to achieve. So we can bring the puck in the offensive zone, create some O-zone time, and then create those, not so much highlight goals. If we have some, that's great, obviously, but we don't want to put our guys in the box, and that's the dangerous part. You want to play a simple game, a fast game, but there's some guys on our team that can make plays, and we want them to make plays. There's a time and place to do it, and these are the moments that we need to get better at. But again, the growth of this team is we're improving. I know the record doesn't say it, but we see it, and it's to me that's very positive.
Lineup-wise, Robinson's called up. Does he go in tonight?
We're going to dress 21. We have a few guys not sure whether it's a little bug or a little injury, so nothing that is too concerning, but we'll dress 21 and go from there.
Can I ask about the goalie then? Or is that one? Do you have that decision made up?
Yes, Elvis.
Thanks.